Hey, happy Quick Question Friday. Today's question comes from a producer who is trying to figure out how they go about collecting their producer royalties from an independent artist. Well, let's first start off about how do you plan on collecting these royalties from this independent artist? Unless the artist has really great organizational skills and understands where the royalties that they owe you come from, the likelihood of you collecting them royalties is 0 to nil, especially when you're dealing with the independent who has yet to be signed to a major label where they can have or execute a letter of direction to say, okay, yeah, pay this particular producer a certain amount from the royalties that I am owed. Okay, so without that being a factor, you're going to have to track them down to get those royalties. So I honestly wouldn't, especially if you are in the onset of your career, really be worried about collecting producer royalties. Okay, worry about collecting as much money for your current services as you can. Secure your copyrights in the composition if you're creating the beat, and let's all just move on. Okay, that would be the best advice I could give you when you are talking about the collection of royalties. On top of that, a lot of artists as well as producers, y'all don't know where the producer royalties, producer point, same thing, is coming from. It is coming from the sales of the master recording, of course, because you sign a work for hire agreement saying that you transfer all ownership in the master recording to the producer, but in exchange for doing that, to the artist, but in exchange for doing that, the artist or the artist label or whoever owns the masters promises to then pay you a percentage from the sales of the master recording. Okay, well, a lot of artists do not realize that once they get that, let's say, TuneCore check or CD Baby check, then they are supposed to pay you for the producer royalties that they promise. Tracking them down to see how much that CD Baby check was to then get your cut of it, and for them to do that on a consistent basis, y'all, like, come on. So collect as much as you can, negotiate whatever your fee is, be okay with that, get your cash, make sure your composition rights are taken care of. Y'all have signed split sheets so you can go register yourself with Song Exchange, or not Sound Exchange, with let's say ASCAP BMI, and also register with your publishing administration company so you can get your songwriting credit, and let's move on. Also, if you want to make sure you're credited so that in the event the song does pop off, having something that says that you will then be credited in the credits as a produced by credit or something to that effect, so at least then your name is on the song. So you may not have made a whole lot of money on the backside from the whole producer royalty points and all that great stuff, but you are making money on the composition, which honestly, y'all, is to me one of the most important areas to be making money, because that money is residual in my opinion. But then also you get that credit, so then moving forward you can ask for producer royalties from a more credible artists who are working with major labels, who have the accounting to be able to account to you for the royalties that you may be owed after you've negotiated that. Okay, so just my 2 cents for this Quick Question Friday. As always, if y'all have entertainment law questions, feel free to drop them in my comments or send them to me in a DM. I hope y'all have a beautiful Memorial Day weekend. Bye.